Holy shit. We are waking up at 3 in the morning to watch the worst prelims ever. JDM versus Prates in Australia, Perth, I believe. Anyways, doesn't much matter. They finally changed it to the proper time in Australia, as they should. This should be on Australian time. I mean, I like having it like on my time, on Eastern time, but obviously it should be no Australian should be waking up in the morning to watch fights. Like, it's not fair to them. They should get the real schedule. So this is awesome. I'm going to give you guys my predictions and breakdowns for this. I have a channel on YouTube with 700 subscribers. This MMA channel, obviously, like the other channels, way more. But this is fun for me. I'm waking up at 3 in the morning. I like to put it. The reason I'm waking up at 3 in the morning is to put out a video for you guys, like to watch this so I can actually put out a video. Because if I don't watch, let me get there. Donmar Fang versus Cody Steele. How am I going to make a reaction video that gets 30 views to it? How am I going to do it if I can't watch it? No, honestly, I could probably just pirate all the videos later and watch it. But it's just something nice about waking up early and watching some MMA fights, grabbing a coffee and whatnot. So we're going to wake up and do it. I'm going to give you guys my predictions on all these fights, starting at the bottom, going all the way up to the top of the card. There's some okay fights. Obviously, the main event is really, really good. Co-main's pretty good, stuff like that. And some of the, earlier fights, prelims are good as well. So, anyways, I'll give you guys my thoughts. Donmar Fang versus Cody Steele should be a good fight. This is a tough one for kind of both guys. Cody Steele is should have the BJJ advantage, the grappling advantage over Donmar Fang. He doesn't use it in any of his fights. He just strikes, even though he's supposed to have a grappling advantage over the majority of people. Do they have odds yet or no on the UFC website? UFC website for odds is awful. Yeah, they got Cody Steele up. But yeah, to be fair, Cody Steele, he should have the grappling advantage. However, he never uses it. And Donmar Fang is pretty good everywhere, and he's got the capabilities to beat somebody like Cody Steele. The problem with Cody Steele is he's supposed to have a grappling advantage. No, doesn't use it. And his striking is a little bit wild. He likes to get in brawls, which is fine. But Donmar Fang is definitely the more cleaner technical striker in this matchup. And I think if Cody Steele doesn't mix in takedowns, or at least attempt to, Donmar Fang is going to win this one by decision. It's Cody Steele's fight to lose. I think if he mixes everything together well, he's a little bit cleaner in the striking. He can win this fight for sure, totally. But if not, I think Donmar Fang is going to kind of just win a close decision because he's just got a little bit of advantage over Cody Steele, unless Cody Steele rocks him and hurts him because he throws really hard, but it's not the cleanest. Anyways, I'm going to go with Cody Steele. I think he's going to put everything together. He should win this one by decision or finish, but I think by decision. Crazy Themba Grimbo is that much of a underdog against John McAuliffe, or whatever you want to say. I don't think John McAuliffe's that bad. I don't really rate Themba Grimbo all that much. I remember when he was first coming into the UFC, and you're like, okay, this guy could be something to rock bottom a house, man, because bro needs a house. And I see all these videos online of like Themba Grimbo. He's like, I don't hang out with any of my Nigerian family anymore. Don't talk to them because they just ask me for money. But anyways, I digress. I think he's good. He's a better striker than John McAuliffe, like technique-wise, cleaner-wise, a little bit smoother. He's probably the better, more well-rounded fighter with more experience against better guys. But Jonathan McAuliffe is not a bad fighter. And I think, honestly, like, he's got what it takes to beat somebody like Themba Grimbo, but he has to mix it together, like kind of similar to the Cody Steele fight. Like, if he tries to stand with Themba Grimbo, he's going to have a tough time. He can probably do some damage with the leg kicks and stuff like that. He's got good leg kicks, but like his striking, he's going to have a hard time with Themba Grimbo striking on the back foot, like closing distance and getting clean shots in and stuff like that. Main thing I think for Jonathan McAuliffe is like if he's mixing in some grappling, some cage work, stuff like that, I think he's going to be able to win this fight. I think he's just going to be the more athletic, the more physical, the more stronger fighter in the cage. And just if he puts everything together, I think he can wear on Themba Grimbo and get a decision here. I think there's ways that Themba Grimbo can win, and he's got a good chance. I would say it's not this. He shouldn't be this big of big of a favorite, Jonathan McAuliffe, but I think he should still beat Themba Grimbo. Themba Grimbo can easily like do well in the striking. I don't think he's going to look amazing in the striking against Jonathan McAuliffe, but I think he's going to outwork him in the striking. And I think the difference is Jonathan McAuliffe is just going to have a higher pace. He's going to put the pressure on him. He's going to make it a dirtier fight, and he's just going to win by doing that. Ben Johnston versus Wes Schultz. I didn't watch much tape on any of the other fighters, but I have listened to some other people's predictions and stuff like that. I think Wes Schultz is not the best fighter, to be honest, at all. He's kind of pretty mid. Ben Johnston, from what I've heard and the little research I've done, he's actually quite good. So I'm going to go with Ben Johnston. He's the favorite, but yeah, I just don't think Wes Schultz is very good. Like, he's got some kind of wrestling background, but it's not great wrestling background. He doesn't seem like a very focused fighter. His striking is awful. So I'm going to go with Ben Johnston. I think he should be able to finish this one. Mr. Thicknessy, Kobe Thickness versus Vince Morales. This is actually a really tough fight to pick, in my opinion. I see a lot of people going with Vince Morales. I see a lot of people going with Kobe Thickness. He is a favorite in this fight. The problem is Vince Morales is on a big, 16-10 is an awful record awful record, but he's not a bad fighter. Like, Vince Morales is not really, he's a pretty high level fighter. He's just fighting other really good fighters. I mean, we can go check out his record, but he's only losing to good guys. Guys that I think would probably beat Kobe Thickness at this point in his career, to be honest, like Raul Rosas Jr. Again, he's not getting submitted by Rosas Jr. He's losing a decision, which is not a bad, I hate saying Rosas Jr. is good because I don't like the dude, skill-wise or just in general. He's just kind of annoying. But he's not a bad grappler, and he's very aggressive, and he does have the grappling advantage over most people. So losing a decision to Rosas Jr. is not awful. Elijah Smith, I think, is very, very good. So losing to Elijah Smith and not getting finished by Elijah Smith is very, very good. Lapierless is okay. And then obviously Johns. Wow, he hasn't fought that consistently. He had a big break there, right? 2 years. And then he is on a 5-fight losing streak. Martinez is good. Losing to Martinez isn't bad. Losing to Johns is not awful. Losing to Lapierless is not awful. He is on a 5-fight. He's still in the UFC, which is crazy. Who did he beat before that? Rodriguez, Smolka, not great, not great. Gutierrez never does enough, but not great. What the hell is this dude, bro? He did beat Zahabi. People forget, man. He beat Zahabi. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's fought a lot of really high level fighters, and he actually did look really good in his last couple fights in the last year after his break off. The 5-fight losing streak and some of the losses on his record aren't great. They aren't great, but he's a good fighter. That's the problem. He's I know he's 5-0, but he's not a bad fighter. He's definitely a UFC caliber fighter. The problem is he's not getting up to a top 15 UFC caliber fighter. But I don't know if Kobe Thickness is either. I mean, he won his last fight. He looks good. He looks good in all of his fights, even the fight against Alexander Topuria, where I think it was just a decision loss. He got beat up more in the end, but he didn't look bad in that fight. It was a decision loss, yeah. And then he beat Musasa, which was a good. His thing is he's good. Technique-wise, he's pretty good. He's pretty good all around. He doesn't have the physicality for 135 like some of the other fighters. And he doesn't have any stopping power, and he doesn't have any finishability, right? So Kobe Thickness's game is very similar to Volkanovski, where he's a very technical fighter. He has a high output, which I think is amazing. You need to have high output if you want to win fights. The only problem is he doesn't have anything that can get respect from his opponent. So we saw in the Alexander Topuria fight, even though he was doing very, very well, Topuria is okay, he doesn't have anything that I need to respect. I can keep coming forward. And in that Musasa fight, it was very similar, where it was he has to fight so perfectly throughout the entire fight because he doesn't have anything that can slow the person down coming forward. His shots are going to hurt. Yeah, it's going to sting and it's going to, do damage, but it's not going to be something that really deters somebody from coming forward looking for a finish, or from trying to get you out of there, right? So Kobe Thickness is like how he wins fights basically is by outputting people, like just more output than everybody else, but also trying to avoid what they're doing. Like he has to be perfect for 15 minutes, and he has to outpoint you. Not just outpoint you, like he mixes everything in well, but like he's got to outwork you in every fight. And that's tough. That's tough to do against a lot of good fighters, just because you're doing that and you're worried about one big shot landing. And once that fighter realizes they don't have to worry about anything, like Kobe Thickness might control you a little bit on the ground, not going to submit you, most likely, unless you're really low level at this point in his career. And he might hit you some clean shots, but he's not going to stop you. So once fighters realize that, and if they're the type of fighter that's like, okay, like I can get this guy out of here now, that's when he has a lot of problems, mainly just because it's hard for him to keep them off of him, right? And if they're good at cutting up the cage or good at pressuring, then it's tough. But I think Kobe Thickness has got the output for Vince Morales. He's definitely got more output for Vince Morales. So I think he's going to output Vince Morales, win on that. I think his striking is maybe a little bit more dynamic. It's a little bit more awkward. Going to be up on significant strikes. I don't think Vince Morales has the kind of power to stop Kobe Thickness, so that's good for Kobe Thickness. Grappling-wise, Vince Morales is very good, so I don't think Kobe Thickness is going to have any advantage in the grappling. I think, if anything, Vince Morales might have a little bit of an advantage in the grappling, and it's going to be I think either way this fight goes to a decision, and I think it's going to be, can Kobe Thickness keep up the output enough and mix everything together while avoiding like big shots or getting in grappling exchanges against Vince Morales. They're like intense. So I don't know. Sorry, text. I think I'm going to go with Kobe Thickness, but I think it's going to be a very close decision that we're going to be like, this one could go either way, to be honest. Not either way, but like it's a Kobe Thickness wins, but it's a close decision. Vince Morales is a pretty good fighter, and Kobe Thickness, this is a tough fight for him. It's a tough fight for him for sure, but it's a winnable fight. Jacob Malkun versus Gerald Mearshart. Gerald Mearshart is, again, like Paul Craig, one of the worst fighters in the UFC. I generally don't know how some of these guys get into the UFC. Not get into the UFC because he's been around forever, but like he's not a high, like you watch Gerald Mearshart and you're like, okay, like I can train for 1 year and have that level of striking, probably even a couple months. His grappling is good, but yeah, his striking is very bad. His wrestling is not great. He has had so many fights. 37-21 is insane record. And he's on a huge losing streak as well. I think it's like 5 fights as well. You can go see 1, 2. But he's fighting high-level people like Dawkins, Olszewski, Tavares. Obviously, Rainer de Ridder's a tough fight. Shabazian's a tough fight. Barberena's not really a tough fight, but that's the last time he won. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight losing streak. Yeah, pretty tough, but against good level competition. It's going to be a step up from Jacob Malkun, but I just think Jacob Malkun gets this win because his striking, he finishes people, and he's going to hit Gerald Mearshart like once, and Gerald Mearshart's going to get KO'd. Minus 1,000. Holy shit. Yeah, Gerald Mearshart's getting cooked. That one's a pretty easy one to pick. Junior Tafa versus Kevin Christian. Again, 2 guys, you're like, why are they in the UFC? Junior Tafa and why am I not Tai Tuivasa, man? These 2 guys are like, they're just garbage fighters, man. Generally garbage fighters. Tai Tuivasa, however, I'll give him some credit over Tai Tuivasa. Junior Tafa at least has like some skill. Sometimes comes to fights in shape, and sometimes shows good technique, which is more than you can say about Tai Tuivasa, man. That guy is just, the only reason he is an athlete is because he's fighting in heavyweight in the UFC. Like there's no athleticism about him anywhere. There's no skill level about him anywhere. You could give me any fat guy off the street that has some kind of like level of motivation, and you could train him to Tai Tuivasa's level in a year and a half. Like the guy is not a good fighter. He has power, and that's literally it. Junior Tough at least has some like half decent technique when he actually shows up and tries. Kevin Christian's not bad, sorry, he's not great at all, but he's still going to be a tough fight for Junior Taffa, which is funny to say, just mainly because Junior Taffa has zero grappling whatsoever. I think if it stays standing up, which both of them are stand-up fighters, Junior Taffa is going to have the advantage, and I think it will stay standing up. So I'm going to go with Junior Taffa to win. I think he'll finish Kevin Christian, but yeah, if he goes to the ground, Junior Taffa sucks on the ground. But Kevin Christian's not good in the ground either, so it should be okay. Cam Roston versus Robert Bricek. I don't remember Robert Bricek off the top of my dome. Let me see if any of his fights remind me. Against Tavares, 2025, and Victoria, yeah. Tough fight for Cameron Roston because Robert Bricek's a good striker and a clean technical striker, and Cameron Roston, people are hyping this dude up, but like I watched his Contender Series fight. Obviously, I watched his fights in UFC. What was his last fight in UFC? But I don't think he's good, man. I don't think he's good. He's so... He fought Petrosky and Brundage, and he got a finish over Brundage, but he's not a skilled fighter. He just throws kind of similar to Prates, where he throws really wide looping and like kind of like slings his shots, where if they land, they have a lot of impact, and mainly because he's literally just using all momentum and swinging his shots. There's nothing about his striking that's crisp. He is a long, tall fighter, so he does kind of have that ability to get away with just throwing like looping shots, like where you just use your momentum and kind of whip into it. And those are what hurt people. But against the clean, like he hasn't fought a highly or mediocrely skilled level striker. I think once he does that, he's cooked. His grappling is okay, but it's not great. I don't think Robert Bricek will grapple with him though, but I don't see, like, I can see a world where he like lands one of those shots and kind of rocks Bricek and is able to get him out of there. He does have like good follow-ups with finishes when he has people hurt, where he just kind of swarms. But Bricek's a way, way better, cleaner fighter, and I don't know. I don't think Cameron Roston's all that good. I think he honestly, like, this sounds bad, but I think he kind of just gets lucky with his style of fighting, where like he'll land one of those shots and it'll hurt you, and then he'll fall up and finish. But against higher level fighters, it's just, you can't rely on that. So I'm going to go with Robert Bricek to win this one. People got Cam Roston, so I'll take an underdog there. This is an awful fight. Again, Louis Sutherland versus Tai Tuivasa. Both are absolutely dog shit fighters. Louis Sutherland has got one of the most interesting. They're like the opposite. Dude, Louis Sutherland's like upper body wide as fuck, and Tai Tuivasa's got the fucking muffin top. It's like literally just the opposite, dude. Anyways, both are very bad fighters. Both are technically very bad as well. It's going to be a stand-up fight. Both guys are going to get tired out immediately. If it goes anywhere past like the first round, it's going to be the most unathletic fight in the world. Tai Tuivasa is on a massive losing streak. I think like 7 fights. He shouldn't be in the UFC in general. I don't think he's like ever. Both these guys aren't UFC like caliber fighters. Again, like you can give me some dude off the street that weighs 200 pounds and 250 pounds and wants to train seriously for a year, and they're going to be at this skill level. Tai Tuivasa, I think can beat Louis Sutherland, but it's hard to pick a guy that's on a 7-fight losing streak. Like, it's tough, man. I'm going to go with Louis Sutherland. I think odds are Tai Tuivasa wins. He's fought higher competition. He's maybe a little bit clean in the striking. I don't think he wants it as bad as somebody like Louis Sutherland. I think Louis Sutherland wants it more. I'm going to go with Louis Sutherland. And yeah, he lost to Brando Pericic, but in his last fight, but he looked bad, but not fucking Shamil Ghaziev's physique. Oh my God, dude. He didn't look insanely, he looked bad. Yeah, he looked bad. I don't know. I'm going to go with Louis Sutherland. Brando Pericic versus Shamil Ghaziev, another out of shape taxi driver. I think Brando Pericic is going to beat him. He's the more in shape, more athletic, hungrier fighter than Shamil. He looked really good in his last couple fights. He's fast. He's way faster than Shamil. Shamil could hit him with some shots and hurt him. He does have that kind of ability to finish people like that. But I think Brando Pericic is going to come out of the gate really fast, really strong. And I think he's going to get Shamil Gaziev out of there. He's a dangerous fighter, man. He's more technical than the majority of these guys. He's faster, which is good. And he's still big for the division. So I'm going to go with Brando Pericic to win. Up next, we got Marwan Rahiki versus Ali Shamid. Tough fight for me to pick because I don't know who the frick Ali Schmidt is. 4-2. His record can't be 4-2. I need to go look at this guy's name again. Ali Schmidt. He's 4-2, bro. How can you how can you be in a main event of a UFC with a record of 4-2, bro? That is insane. Like, there's so many fighters out there with records like 18-6 that aren't getting UFC title shots, aren't getting UFC opportunities, and you have a dude that's 4-2. 4-2. And like, even Marwan Rahiki, like, this is his second fight in the UFC. He got into the UFC with a 6-0 record. Like, that's not 6-0 is like a good record, but it's still like you've only had 6 professional fights and you're in the UFC. Like, very, very crazy. And then you see people with like 20 plus fights and like 5 losses that are not in the UFC, maybe because of age or whatever, but like, still, dude, it's crazy. Ali Schmidt, the fact that, I mean, I know it's a last minute fight, so it's not like, obviously, that, sorry, I'm trying to put this shit back on. It's not like it's his fault that like he's taking a last minute fight in the UFC, getting a UFC opportunity. He probably couldn't find somebody that really fit the bill, but still, 4-2 to be getting a UFC shot like on a main event is crazy in your hometown. Let's see what his last fights were. Spinning back fist round 1, right hand round 1 decision. He's coming off 3 finishes. Doesn't have even a regional belt. Oh, man. Lost his first fight. This is tough, man. Like, he does have a decent amateur experience, but like, bro's only been fighting for 6 years. I don't know, man. It's not a lot of fights. It's not a lot of fights. He's fighting guys that are 5-5. His 2 fights ago, he was fighting a guy in his first professional fight, and then a guy that's 0-2. He lost to a guy that's 6-4, beat another guy 0-0. I don't know, man. Like, that's a big. You're 4-2. I can't pick a guy that's 4-2. I think Marwan Rahiki's gonna beat him. I have heard that he's not as bad as his record would say. And then 4-2 is not an awful record, but it's just so early on in your career that like it's hard to know. But I'm going to go with Marwan Rahiki. And I think Marwan Rahiki's a good fighter, but I don't think he's that good. He's too reckless. He's one of these fighters that's too reckless and gets hurt in a lot of his fights. And we'll see what happens. I think he'll be able to tough it out. He's got good cardio. He's game for a fight. He's going to put an insane pace on Ali Schmidt. And as long as he doesn't get finished, he's going to survive and just go to war. And I think he'll be able to get Ali Schmidt out there. So I'm going to go with Marwan Rahiki, but crazy to be 4-2 getting a UFC shot. That's wild. It's so funny too. You click on this and it's like goes from Steve Erceg with the beard to Steve Erceg with no. He looks straight up like Michael Scott in that picture with the beard. Tim Elliott versus Steve Erceg. Good fight. This is an entertaining fight. This is an interesting fight to kind of predict and kind of give thoughts on. I think Steve Erceg, right off the bat, should win this fight. I think he is the more athletic, the bigger, the more, the better, just a more talented all-around fighter. However, Tim Elliott's pretty good, and he's kind of sneaky, and he's on a little bit of a win streak right now, man. And the thing with Tim Elliott is he's fought literally the best of the best. But again, so is Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg's fought really, really good people, and good people more recently than Tim Elliott. but Steve Bricek has been losing to some fighters, and he's had just came off a close fight with Ode Osborne. The thing with Steve Bricek is like he's gonna have Tim Elliott striking is awkward, but Steve Bricek striking so much cleaner. He's gonna be able to piece up Tim Elliott in the striking, I think, for the most part, and he's got more power, so I think he's gonna be able to hurt Steve Bricek in the striking if it stays up, or sorry, Tim Elliott in the striking if it stays up that long. And in terms of the grappling, Steve Bricek's scrambles and stuff like that are quite good. Like, he's not getting submitted by Pantoja. He's not doing poorly in the scrambles against Pantoja. I think he's going to be just fine against Tim Elliott in the grappling, and that's where Tim Elliott really shines. So I think Steve Bricek is going to win a decision here, but it's an interesting fight. It's an interesting fight for sure. We got freaking Benny who's going to sleep. Everybody's going for Quillen Salkeld. Think it's like a easy win. They're calling him Australia's biggest prospect. I think Quillen Salkeld is good. I think he's well-rounded. Beneil Dariush is a really big step up in talent for Quillen Salkeld. The only reason I'm going to pick Quillen Salkeld is because Beneil Dariush's chin seems to be gone. And Quillen Salkeld's got a habit of finishing people. If Beneil Dariush's chin wasn't gone and like I was confident he could take some shots from Quillen, I would think that we would have to all pick Dariush here. But the problem is Dariush's chin seems to be gone, and Quillen's going to hit him at least once or twice with something clean, and that's gonna be a problem for Beneil Dariush. So I think we got to go with Quillen Salkeld here, but for sure Beneil Dariush is the more like, well, obviously more experienced, more well-rounded, I think, fighter overall with mixing and grappling and stuff like that. Obviously, he's not as good a striker as Quillen Salkeld, I don't think. But I do think Beneil Dariush is the only difference. The problem is he's not going to be able to take a shot from Quillen Salkeld. So the odds that Quillen Salkeld lands a good shot that's able to hurt Beneil Dariush over 15 minutes, especially with Dariush's chin, very, very high. And I could see Dariush being able to get Quillen out of there in the grappling, but not before Quillen lands a shot that hurts Beneil. So I'm going to go with Quillen Salkeld here to win this fight. I think that's, minus 450. I think that's what most of us are going with. And then we got Prates versus JDM. This is a really good fight. This is a really interesting fight. Obviously, main event. This is a tough fight to pick, man. This is a really tough fight to pick. Because on one hand, you got Prates, who's an elite striker, and on the other hand, you got JDM, who's an elite striker, and two kind of different styles. Prates, obviously, the rangy Muay Thai kind of specialist. JDM, very well-rounded everywhere in terms of striking and grappling. But he's more of a short-range pocket boxer fighter, where he's gonna throw some chopping low kicks and stuff like that. He's gonna really just be in there in the pocket, just slipping and ripping. And Prates fights at range. Prates fights at a long range, and he's got a range advantage. And he's, I believe, southpaw versus orthodox. So he's going to be able to blast body kicks against JDM if he uses it, which is going to be a problem for JDM as well. I do think JDM is a better, well-rounded fighter. I think in the grappling, he has an advantage over Carlos Prates. And I think he can actually use that grappling to make life very difficult for Prates. I don't think he's going to be able to I don't think he's going to be able to hold him down or submit him or anything like that. But I do think he wins rounds by keeping up on the feet and then mixing and grappling and cage work and maybe getting control for a bit. So I do see a world where JDM is able to win rounds like that and also do good in the striking. And it's not like I don't think JDM can keep up with Prates in the striking. The problem is Prates has just got he's got that finish ability where he can KO JDM. I don't necessarily see JDM finishing Prates on the feet. I don't see it. I do see JDM outworking Prates. If JDM makes it a really high volume, high paced fight, pressures Prates, mixes in grappling, control, I could see Prates fading in the later rounds and JDM maybe getting a finish that way. But otherwise, I think JDM wins by decision in this fight. And he's going to have to spend 25 minutes avoiding a shot from Prates that rocks him. Because I think if Prates hurts him, he can probably get him out of there. Or he can just one punch stop him as well. And it's not like Prates hasn't fought good grapplers, good well-rounded fighters. Like, I know people hate on Leon Edwards, but he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. But yeah, it's a tough fight for JDM. I think it's a fight that is winnable. I think it's a fight that is losable. It's a tough fight to pick, man. I'm gonna go with JDM to win this. I think he's just the better, more well-rounded fighter, and I think that he's gonna do better in the striking than people give him credit for. But I do think there's a very high chance that something big from Prates lands and can finish the fight. The thing is, JDM's gonna have the higher volume, right? So if Prates doesn't find a finishing shot, JDM's gonna win a decision for sure. There's no way that Prates wins a decision because JDM's gonna have higher volume in striking. He's gonna mix in the grappling. Prates throws more single shots on the back foot and stuff like that. So as long as he doesn't get finished by Prates, he should win a decision. Yeah, tough fight to pick. Tough fight to pick. I'm going to go JDM, the underdog, in that one as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown, these predictions. We are going to wake up early and watch this fight. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. I would love to get to 1,000 subs on this channel. Mainly just for my ego and all that nonsense. But yeah, hype this video as well if you haven't already, because apparently that helps in the YouTube algorithm. Doses.